Hello folks, it's me James, and this is a yoga flow if you have a wrist injury or an elbow injury. Also, if you have a shoulder injury, we're not going to put any weight in the arms, so that might work for you. But we will take the arms overhead and into different positions, so just being aware to modify if that doesn't feel good for your shoulder right now. Otherwise, let's get going. So we're going to start standing up. So come on up and come to the front of your mat. So we're going to start with the feet about hip distance apart, toes spread, inside edges of the feet pretty much parallel. To begin with, drop the fingertips down towards the earth. Let the heart area lift slightly. But could you mirror that with the sense of your tailbone dropping straight down between your heels? So the lower back is spacious and long. For a moment, settle into your breathing and sensing you could send the inhale all the way down into your lower belly. Have a sense that the base of your skull is being gently drawn up so the back of your neck lengthens, sense into the full length of your spine, spreading the toes. And now as you breathe, begin to keep a little bit of tone to the abdominal area at the bottom of the exhale. So sense the belly button drawing in. And now as you inhale, keep the belly button lightly drawn in. You'll feel the breath move way up into your chest and the sides of your ribs. For this practice, you're encouraged to keep a gentle tone to the lower belly and the breath in the chest and the sides of your ribs. Let's get flowing. Inhaling, sweep your arms up, join the palms together, look to the thumbs. As you exhale, guide the prayer down through center, bend your knees and fold softly. Inhale halfway up, lengthen your spine, float your fingertips. From here, exhale, step the left foot back, back knee down, and sweep your arms up to the sky. Take the arms a little bit wider than you might normally. Give yourself lots of space, big V shape with the arms. For a moment, sense the fingertips reaching, palms opening, and feel your upper back really broad and wide, kind of trying to look impressive in your upper back. From here, bring the palms together down through center. As you breathe in, again, lift through the base of the skull, feel the spine long. As you exhale, twist to your right. Take 2 breaths here, really feeling your abdominals working. Hands are very gently joined. And then inhale back to center. Reach your arms up, tuck your back toes, push up into a high lunge. And you can step that back foot forward slightly if that feels better for you. Front knee perfectly balanced above your front ankle. And start to draw up through the pubic bone in the lower belly area. Powerful back leg. Once again, exhaling, bring the palms delicately to touch. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, turn to the right, twisting. 2 breaths here. You might want to engage your glutes a little bit as well. Squeeze your butt. Sense that stabilizes the pelvis. And then inhale back to center. Exhale, warrior 2. Spread the arms out. Imagine the arms are resting on the surface of water, really lightly floating, shoulders relaxed, palms and wrists delicate. Spread your toes and start to draw up the front hip, the right one. So rather than tipping down, get a sense of drawing up through that front hip and press into your back heel so your legs feel really strong as the hips open. Inhale, reverse, palm lifting to the sky, exalted warrior. Exhale, reach the right arm forwards, followed by the left. Inhale, flowing back, dancing warrior. Exhale, reaching forwards, back arm joins like you could hold the moon or the sun. One more time. Exhale, reach forwards, this time hold it here. Press that front heel down, feel your glutes cooking a little bit, reach the fingers. If you're like me and you tend to pop your ribs out, gently encourage them down and inwards slightly, maintaining the integrity of your back. On your next inhale, come back to center. Find your high lunge again. We're going to take a big step forwards. Hands down, knee floats into the chest slowly for a balance. You can let your arms hang. Start to draw the knee up and in. But again, draw your belly button in as you breathe, keeping a little bit of tone there. From here, step back, slowly, high lunge, arms coming up. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse, exalted warrior. Exhale, straighten your front leg for triangle. You can shorten your stance if that feels better in your hip. But as you draw that right hip back, inhale, reach the arm forwards and let it gently float down. It could rest on the calf or the shin, or it could float. Today, if you want a deeper stretch through your lats and your back, you could reach that top arm alongside your ear, pressing into your back heel as an option. Take another 2 breaths, expanding into the shape. And as you bend your knee on your next exhale, warrior two. High lunge once again, still cooking that front leg a bit. Knee comes into the chest, hold it here. This time, from here, careful not to kick my plant, straighten the leg out, point the foot. If your leg is really low, don't worry, hip flexors take a while to strengthen. But if it's available, lift the leg up, point through the foot, and draw your shoulder blades down. Check that your standing leg is straight and strong. And now from here, take a short step forwards into a miniature high lunge on the other side, sort of little tiny baby one. Take a step forwards, feet hip distance apart. Settle your breathing. You might join your palms for 2 or 3 breaths. Get a sense of the heat building in the body. The breath smooth and controlled. Release your hands for chair pose. Breathing in, arms parallel to the floor to begin with, like you're holding something precious between the palms. Send your hips and your tailbone back. And rather than kind of crunching the neck back, could you lengthen through the back of the neck and sense how much that frees up your shoulders? And now as you exhale, fold. This time reach your arms up overhead like wings. Maybe lengthen the legs if that feels good. They could be bent still. Really open the shoulders. And don't link the fingers here though. And then inhale halfway up, float the fingertips. Second side, right foot steps back, back knee down. Inhale, crescent lunge. Take a moment here, lifting through the front of the pelvis, heart rising, and a sense of space and broadness in the upper back. 2 more smooth, calm breaths. Notice if the breath is starting to happen a lot in the belly, sometimes happens, you might gently draw the belly button in, keep the breath in the chest, the back, the sides of the ribs. Gather a little sunlight, a little hope to the heart, palms come together. And as you exhale, turning to the left this time. See how you could keep that front knee centered above the front ankle. And how the shoulders could relax here. So the work comes from the obliques, from your spine, the core. Inhale back to center, arms come up, tuck your back toes. We're pushing up, high lunge. Find your way up. Sense that your pelvis could square to the front of your mat. Press your back knee up to really lengthen. And again, palms gathering to the heart gently. Inhale to lengthen the spine, lift the front of your body. Exhale, turning to the left, standing twist. Now, hands-free practices are great because they often mean that we have to use the muscles closer to the center of the body. So you're really working much harder here than if you hooked the elbow outside the knee. Take 1 more breath. Inhale back to center. Exhale, warrior two. Again, arms like they're floating on water. Rather than dropping that front hip down, draw that front hip up. Almost like you were leveling the top of your yoga pants so that The top of the yoga pants or whatever you're wearing is level to the ground. From here, reversing, breathing in, front arm lifts. Exhale, strengthening through the core, arms reaching forwards, twice more. Inhaling. Reaching, press your back heel down. And this time we've got the hold coming up, reach forwards, press your front heel into the ground. And get that sense that you could reach your tailbone towards your back heel, really having integrity from that back foot all the way to your fingertips. And then release, warrior two. Oh. Inhale, high lunge. Our first big step forwards, knee into the chest, float, glide, hover. Sometimes your hip will try and lift up and tilt out. Keep the pelvis level to the ground again and draw the knees straight up and in. One more breath. Slowly stepping back, high lunge. And warrior two. Inhale, reverse, dancing warrior. Exhale, warrior two. Triangle, straighten the front leg, shorten the stance if it's helpful, and use the inhale to really expand out from center. Arms reaching, but in a very gentle way. The fingertips gently rest down or float. Again, as an option, you could reach that top arm alongside the ear, but really connect that to your back heel, pressing the back heel and the little toe down. 2 more breaths, whichever position you're in. On your next exhale, start to bend your front knee, warrior two. Once again, high lunge. Here we go. We've got the leg coming out thing. Big step forwards, knee into the chest. Draw your shoulder blades down and hiya. Kick the leg forward slowly. Point the foot. Again, you might notice one side is harder than the other. My right's always been a little bit more tricky for me. You can see me perspiring and shaking. One more breath, lift up. And from here, again, gently stepping back. Baby high lunge. Just for a moment, reach. And then stepping to the front of the mat. Feet hip distance apart. So we're going to take a movement called dragon. It comes from martial arts and from Tai Chi. I'm going to turn to face away so you can see the foot movement. With your feet hip distance apart, shift the weight into your left leg, bend the knees slightly. Take your arms out like wings. And now take a baby step back and across with the ball of the right foot. A little bit like a curtsy, a kind of small curtsy step. Square your pelvis to the front and bend the knees. Send some of the weight into the back foot, breathing here. And this is where it gets interesting. Take your left fingers and touch them to your thumb like a little bird beak. And then connect your bird beak to your tailbone like a dragon tail. On the other side, that front arm is going to come around in front of the heart like a claw. So your right hand now is a little bit like a protective claw at the front of your heart as you sit down into the hips. Now, your dragon could be gentle, and so you're quite tall and vertical, or it could be a little bit more fiery, lowering down. But keep the work in the legs, keep your spine upright. 2 more breaths. A little bit of dragon fire. And then slowly release. Step the feet hip distance apart again. Give it a little shake out. Oh, towel down if you have a towel, which I don't. Let's go to the other side. So this time, soft knees, send the weight into the right foot. Left foot steps back and across, little curtsy. Ball of the foot down, sit into the hips, cross the thighs. Arms like wings. Again, keep the back of your neck lifting. And this time, right hand forms the bird beak or the dragon tail. Left hand forms a claw at your heart. Take another couple breaths here. You might choose to stay quite vertical, looking over the shoulder, It feels quite martial artsy, right? It's because it is. Or you might take this a lot lower. There's a point if you get really low where you suddenly lose all the effort, so don't go there. Keep some of the challenge lift up. 2 more breaths. And coming back into center, feet hip distance apart at the front of your mat. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Option to arch back a little bit this time. Exhale, palms together as you fold. Inhale, halfway up. Left foot back, back knee down. Crescent lunge, sweeping, lifting. This time, open the arms to the right. Take 2 breaths here. See if you could drop your back shoulder slightly. Inhale back to center. Exhale, palms coming together. Once again, tuck your back toes. Power up into that high lunge position. Arms coming up, back leg lengthening. Open the arms to the right, twisting. 2 breaths. Keep the integrity in the spine upright. On your next inhale, center, and warrior 2. Exhaling, releasing down. From here, straighten your front leg and shorten your stance slightly, baby triangle legs. We're going to inhale, reach forwards, and this time reach those fingertips towards the toes. Resist the urge to catch them, but reach in that direction. Sense how broad the upper back is. We're going to move into a hands-free half moon. Start to bend that front knee and begin to float the foot and the hand off the floor. No weight in the wrist. Back leg lifting. As you find the balance, press through the left heel and expand. 3, 2, and 1. Start to step back, warrior 2. High lunge, once again, knee in towards the chest, fingertips down. Point the foot lengthen, just 2 breaths here. This time taking it into warrior 3, right knee slightly bent. Glide the left foot back and fly into it. Or wobble, either is good. You're working either way, right? If you're wobbling, you're probably working harder, so there's a benefit in that. Point your left foot, reach through the toes. I like to reach my fingertips back. I feel kind of like a superhero. Hold on to that thought for 2 more breaths, folks. Right foot and ankle cooking a little bit. From here, step back, high lunge, arms coming up, settling into it. Step to the front of your mat, feet hip distance apart. Just take a moment to settle into your breathing. And if it's helpful, take a couple big breaths out. Wipe your forehead if you need to. Spread the toes. And that fundamental heat of the practice, the movement of energy, of blood, lymphatic fluid, the things which health are made of, right? Second side, inhale, arms lift, maybe arching back if it feels good. Palms together, exhale, fold. Lift up halfway, long neck, long arms. Right foot steps back, back knee down. Inhaling, arms lifting, Anjaneyasana, the crescent moon. This time exhale, open the arms to the left, twisting. It's tempting to yank that shoulder back. Resist. Turn from the shoulder girdle, let your left shoulder drop slightly. As you turn, your obliques are going to be working with the inner thigh muscles to help stabilize you. 1 more breath. Inhale, center. Once again, exhale, press up into that high lunge position. Inhale to lengthen, pubic bone up. Exhale, arms opening to the left. Is your front knee above your front ankle? Is your back thigh lifting? On your next inhale, find center. And exhale, warrior 2. From here, slightly shorten your stance, baby triangle. Inhale, reaching. Exhale, finding your way in. As much as your left hand reaches towards your big toe, reach your right arm up. The trick to half moon is to really expand out from your center. When you're ready, bend your front knee, go slow, back leg lifting, back foot flexed. Think about turning the hips, turning the shoulders. And we've got 3, 2. You're doing great. 1. And slowly release, warrior 2. Let's, whoops, have a little wobble. Inhale back to center. And here we go, knee into chest, exhaling, scooping in. Foot lengthening, reaching out for 2. Hip flexors on for 1. Warrior 3, micro bend your left knee. Pivot. Point the right toes. If the balance is easy, level your hips towards the ground. Keep the breath high up in the sides of your body. There's 2 more, nearly there. From here, step back, kind of short high lunge position. And a big step forwards. Check out your left foot, mine needs it. So we're going to link a couple of those poses. It's quite a warm flow, it's for me. We're going to come back into that dragon position once more. So I'm going to demonstrate. Feet hip distance apart. Take your arms out. Shift your weight into your left foot. Curtsy, right foot behind, cross the thighs. Like you're meeting the queen, maybe. From here, left hand in the bird beak, makes your little tail. Right hand, the claw, fierce but friendly dragon. As you turn to your left. Again, if you want to make this more fiery, go a little bit lower. Keep the breath steady. Slowly come back to center. Replace the feet hip distance apart. Shift weight, right foot, arms out, dragon. Right hand tail, left hand claw. Turning. And soften the eyes, soften the jaw. How can you soften around the strength of the posture? Sustainability. Slowly coming back to center. So we're going to move from that posture into half moon now. It's really tricky. So we're going to start on the left foot. So facing the front of your mat. Step your right foot back, little curtsy step. Left hand the tail, right hand the claw. Dragon. Da, da, da. Take a breath here. Dragon's going to take flight. As you start to release, left hand comes down, right leg comes up. Finding your way into half moon. Tricky, tricky, tricky. Take a few breaths there. And if you're still in flight, exit the way you came in, come back into dragon. Bend the knee. Ball the right foot back. Right hand in front of the heart. Magnificent, everybody. Slowly step forwards, mountain pose. Let's take a calming, cooling movement that comes from Tai Chi and qigong. Take your feet about shoulder width apart. Soften your knees. We're going to reach the arms out, slowly breathing deeply. Let your middle fingers face each other overhead and gently press the hands down. This practice is called clearing, and we imagine we could clear any tension or any discomfort or any energetic blockages out. Let's go twice more. Gathering in the arms, anything that's holding you back, anything you don't need, doesn't serve you, and clear it out. And one perspective on injury or pain in the joints, in the body, and injury is that energy or qi can get stuck, get stagnant or trapped. That's what acupuncture is all about, right? Releasing that. So there's a sense through these simple, slow movements that we might free up healing flow of energy or blood or lymphatic fluid through the arms, the wrists, the shoulders, whatever's bothering you at the moment. Could be mental stuff. Clear it out. Slowly step your feet hip distance apart again. Here we go. You've not escaped the other side. So left ball of the foot steps back, little curtsy. Left hand, the claw at the heart as you turn into your dragon. Think of this as kind of supercharging or building a little bit of strength. And now start to stand, reach your right arm forwards. Back leg begins to lift, tipping into it. Left foot rising, half moon. Stay with your beautiful commitment and effort, even if you fall out. Give yourself a chance to come back in. And then exit back into dragon. Bend the right knee. Left ball of the foot steps back. Claw with the left hand. And coming back to center. Let's clear just once this time. Breathing in. And breathing out. Kind of detoxifying movement in practice. Once again, step your feet hip distance apart, front of your mat. Breathe in, lift your arms up. This time keep the hands apart as you fold, bend the knees. Take your arms way up overhead, reach the fingers to the sky, drop the head. Taking 3 or 4 breaths here. You might imagine you're holding a strap between the hands, except you're not. You're using the strength of your arms and your muscles. Another 2 or so breaths. Think about sending your tailbone up to initiate the forward fold. Sitting bones up towards the sky. And now from here, coming into chair pose, reach your arms forward, sit the hips back. Chair pose with the arms parallel. Lift onto your tiptoes. And we're going to lower down into a squat. Go low, 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 low. If you don't come all the way down, don't worry. Go as far as feels good. And now from here, slowly find your way back onto your mat. So for a moment, take your feet as wide as your mat. Drape your arms over the shins, knees bent. And let's gently fold forwards, kind of yin style release. Let the head go heavy. Let the body sink into the embrace of gravity and the earth. This is a great position for feeling the breath in your back. So as you take deep breaths in, really feel the expansion in the upper back, maybe even the lower back slightly. And slowly coming up. From here, bring your feet together, knees bent. And then this time, bring your right knee into a half cross-legged position. So I've just brought my heel close towards my left groin, my hip. I'm going to lean back slightly here. This is tricky. Lift your chest. Reach your arms forwards. So your mission, should you choose to accept, is to keep your lower back really long. Lift out of your lower back, lift your chest, and start to float the left knee up. If it so pleases you, you could straighten the leg and point the foot. A variation of boat pose. You can press down through the right foot as well to help lift. And then from here, return the foot. As you breathe in, lift the chest, and then take your right arm around the bent leg, folding and twisting in towards the thigh. If this feels good, you could even take the right elbow outside the knee. If that doesn't bother anything you're working with in the wrist, the arm or the shoulder, palms together. And although it's tempting to take the back hand down to help push you up, we're going hands free. So use the strength of your core, muscles alongside the spine, which is always a good thing. 2 more deep breaths, whichever position you're in. From here, slowly release. Slide the right leg forwards, and for a moment stretch both legs long. Bring the feet together to touch if that's available, if that feels good, otherwise a little space. And inhale, lift through the chest. If you find yourself rounding, bend your knees. That will give you the space to tip the pelvis forwards and sit really tall. Dandasana or staff pose usually pushes the hands down alongside your hips. But today, I'm going to encourage you instead to hold the hands forwards like you're holding a, tray. And as you hold the palms forwards, draw the elbows in, squeeze them into your waist and pull your shoulders down. Oh. You feel there's quite a lot of work happening in your upper back. And if you're sitting tall, your lower back as well. You could, of course, have the legs straight if your hamstrings let you go there. Really spread the fingers super wide. This is also strengthening the fingers and the wrists slightly. And then slowly release, kind of give it a little shake out and a bit of release. Okay, bend your knees, feet flat. This time bring your left heel to the right groin or towards the right thigh. From here, reach your hands forwards again and check your shoulders haven't come up around your ears. Let them drop down a little bit, free up the neck. Lift up and begin to lean back slightly as you float the foot. Think about drawing your lowest ribs up towards your knee and maybe straightening the leg for 3. You could be here for 2. And 1, release. Slide that foot a little bit closer. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale, circle the left arm around. And again, if it feels good, if it's okay, you could take hands in prayer, left elbow outside the knee. Just being aware sometimes that kind of sends you in this direction. So really work to sit tall or simply hold. If you've lost connection to your breath, just gently drop into it, deep, smooth. A sense that when the breath is smooth and measured, so is your movement, so is your mind. Take 1 more. And then slowly release, coming back to center. Once again, reach your legs out for a moment. This time, bring the feet and the knees, squeeze them towards each other. Lean back for boat pose, full version. Which actually will probably feel a little bit easier than the one we just did. Knees bent, big toes touching, lift the chest. If you really want to fire up, straighten the legs for 5. For 4. Roll the thighs in for 3. Relax your shoulders for 2. Grit your teeth for 1. And then release. Take your feet wide. Let's hang out over the shins again. Heroic effort. Deepen your breath in the back of your body once more. And then from here, slowly bring your way down, or find your way down rather, all the way onto your back. And for a moment, let's take a little happy baby. So bringing your feet in. You could catch the ankles, you could catch the feet or the big toes. Giving yourself a little rock side to side. Your hips have worked hard, so have your glutes. All that stabilization in the standing balances. The fire of dragon pose or dragon stance. From here, return your feet down, bring them hip distance apart for a low bridge. I like to turn my heels out ever so slightly and press my big toes down. Place your arms and let them be palm face up alongside the body, so no work in the hands or the arms. Let the arms and shoulders relax. Curl your tailbone up and slowly lift up into a low bridge position. Think about sending your tailbone up between your knees. And you might feel your glutes come online. My perspective on glutes in back bends is it depends on the back bend. But generally here, I would say definitely engage the glutes to help lengthen and extend the hips. Hold it here, and now start to reach your arms overhead if that feels okay in your shoulders today. And rather than letting the arms flop behind you, gently reach you the fingertips like someone was very gently pulling you along the ground. Notice how that starts to lift your chest a little bit more. And your legs have to really fire up for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly curl down, like each vertebra of your spine was a pearl on a necklace, one pearl at a time, going down. For a moment, let your hips release here. So we're going to take a movement which involves rolling onto the front of the body. So I like to take my hips off to one side, and a bit like I was in bed on a Sunday morning actually, just kind of roll over and finding your way onto the front of the body. We're going to take Locust Pose. So from here, reach your fingertips back towards your heels and find a balance between yang and yin, as it were, so that your fingers reach back and there's a little activity, but you're not straining or stressing anything out. Gently press your hips down, feel your glutes come online, and lift your chest, initiating from pressing the pelvis down. Keep your arms quite wide. Keep it feeling free around your neck. As an option, you might float the feet, maybe even the knees, spread the toes. 5 breaths. Don't worry if your feet don't come up. You can gently press them down into the ground. 4, 3. Balance between effort and ease. Find it for 2. And 1. Slowly lower down. You might turn your head to one side. You might wiggle your hips out a little bit as well. When you feel ready, we'll come in one more time. Press your hips down to initiate. Fingertips reaching back. Now this time, if your feet do come off the floor, option to bend the knees, but don't catch the ankles. Flex your feet and bring your heels in towards your glutes. Your hamstrings are going to switch on. If they're not used to this, they can get a bit crampy, so go easy. Keep pressing your hips down. Squeeze your butt. Bring your heels in. Arms reaching back. Hands free bow pose. Just way harder. 2 more breaths. And then release. And again, you could rest your head on your hands if that feels comfortable. You could rock your hips. You could even swish your legs side to side. A bit like a mermaid, I suppose. And then from here, take your arms out to the side in a T shape, being very gentle with the arms. And I've got a wall next to me, so I can only use my right arm, but you get the idea. Lift your chest, press your hips down, and reach across the upper back, reach the fingertips out, so in this kind of T-shaped half locust. Let the back of your neck lengthen by dropping your chin in towards your chest. Reach through the fingertips. It's quite kind of nerve extension feeling. And then lower down. That was our last one. Rock your hips. So as gently as you can, find your way to roll back over onto your back. And then this time, we're going to cross the right ankle over the left knee in a figure 4 position. I like to flex my foot here. It just feels like my ankle and my knee are more stable when I do that. Let your arms rest alongside your hips. And to take this as a really relaxing variation, you could stay here and gently send your right knee forwards. If you want to make it a little bit more active, you could float the foot off the ground and using the strength of your hip flexors one last time, bring the left knee into the chest. And as a final option, you could straighten the left leg up towards the sky. And the muscles at the back of your leg are going to be working in symphony with your hip flexors so that your bent leg doesn't push the foot forwards. Kind of really active or really relaxing, however you choose to take it. One more breath. Slowly release if you lifted. From here, replace the right foot and a really simple switch, left ankle over the knee. Again, let your shoulders relax, let your arms relax. They're not doing anything. Send the left knee away. Option to float, draw the knee in. Option to strengthen, to lift. You feel your quads engaging. Just another 2 or 3 breaths. Slowing the breath down and sensing into that cooling quality that's starting to happen. From the ferocity of our dragon and our half moon, sensing things cooling a little bit, beginning to release. And just for a moment, stretch both legs long, take the arms overhead, and a big breath in and out. Taking one last short twist, bring your right knee into your chest and take it across the body. Now you can take your arms out into kind of cactus arms, like those amazing huge cacti in American deserts in certain states, using the twist to help reset, recalibrate. Slowly coming back in and switching. Gently, 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 and across into a twist. And you could look down the opposite arm, turning the head slightly if that feels good. And wherever your head is, just give the jaw a little wiggle, the mouth open slightly, consciously releasing or softening anything that's tight there or holding. And then coming back in. So we're going to settle into short Shavasana. And taking the arms wherever feels good. Conventionally, Shavasana, palms turned up, hands a little bit away from the body. Sometimes it can feel nice to rest the hands at the front of the body, and a reassuring contact of the hands. Take a deep breath in and clear anything out that needs to go. Twice more. Use your exhale to release the things that are no longer of service to you. Maybe thanking them as they go. So as a short guided relaxation, just let your awareness settle into the space between your eyebrows. What's often thought of as the third eye point. Letting your breathing settle as you focus on the space just between your eyebrows. And you might choose to visualize that there's a little bead of light or a small star in the space between the eyebrows and a little bit inside. And it glows softly in your favorite color. And as your body and your nervous system settle and relax for just a few minutes, it gives that little glowing bead or point of light, that star, to glow a little bit more brightly. And visualizing that it starts to send gentle currents of healing energy or light, like rivers or streams, down, 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 into the skull, into the spine. Feeling the trickle of healing light down across your shoulders, your shoulder blades, softly glowing in your favorite color, down through the arms, the elbows, your wrists, your hands, towards your fingertips. And as this prana or chi or energy travels down through your arms, it clears out anything which is stagnant, anything that's not helping you. And it carries with it soothing, healing energy. You can also imagine this traveling from the third eye point all the way down through your spine, through to your organs, your pelvic bowl, down through your legs, to your ankles, your feet, and your toes as well. And the more you soften, the more you relax into gravity, the more healing can take place. Sensing your body glowing softly in your favorite color now, and for this last minute. And sensing what it feels like to be a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more spacious. And knowing that that is a gift you can give to yourself any time you have a moment to clear some space in your day. So start to wiggle your toes and your fingers. Maybe turn your head from one side to the other slowly. Beginning to stretch out the whole body and exhaling out. Walk your feet in, take a little hug of your knees, and find the gentlest way you can to come up and sit. It could be rolling to one side, could be taking a little rock forwards and back and coming up. So we'll close how we started, just in a seated position. Just for a moment, sense the length of your spine, tall, kind of like bamboo. Bamboo super strong, but also very flexible, very bendy. Let your chin drop slightly. Join your palms, and if it feels good to you, you might bring the palms just to rest in front of that third eye point, and that bead, or that star glowing. And now bringing the palms in front of the heart, connecting mind and heart. And lastly, bringing the palms just to rest at the lower belly and a second brain, gut instinct. So mind, heart, and the center of our body aligned in practice. And we close here. So thank you so much for joining. I hope this was helpful and enjoyable, finding a balance between effort and ease through movement. Hopefully this gives your wrists, your arms a little bit of a break. If you found it helpful, leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. I'm making more videos, so let me know what you want. That's what I'm here for. Have a great day and enjoy your practice.